Hello everyone, and welcome to my first Division 2 video. I'm Straatien, and I want to start off by saying thank you again for joining me today. If you like what you see, please help me by hitting that subscribe button, thumb up or thumb down the video, and drop a comment letting me know what you like or didn't like about the video. That way I can make sure that my content is continuously improving, and each video that drops is an improvement in some way, shape, or form. So today we are going to be talking about the upcoming Skyscraper mode. Since it was essentially leaked in the last state of the game, I wanted to come full circle, talk about what we know with this new game mode so far, the potential date for Title Update 11, and how I'm a little worried, maybe is the best word, about the massive team, about how the massive team is handling everything. So let's start off by talking about what we know so far. Well, Skyscraper Mode, so far we can confirm that it will be launching with Title Update 11. It is a PvE mode. It is set in the New York map. We also know that it is a 100-floor skyscraper, floor-by-floor playstyle. So I would assume increased difficulty as you get higher up in levels. Every 10 floors contain save points / checkpoints. We know this, but we don't really know all of the details so far. At the 80th floor, we know that it essentially stops there in a sense. So you get on that 80th floor, and then the last 20 are all continuous. So again, there's certain things that I'm not quite sure how they're going to do yet, or how they're going to do it yet. I would imagine there's going to be some kind of save point, something every 10 floors, and then our last save point will be on that 80th floor. So location-wise, this is hard to say. I have been hearing multiple things. I've been hearing some people stating that they think it will be in the New World Trade Center. I've also heard people talking about that it could potentially be in the Empire State Building. Both of these locations would be extremely interesting. I think from a playable standpoint, the Empire State Building would be the more interesting. It would be more interesting than the World Trade Center. But unfortunately, I do not believe that the geography lands up well enough for the teams to have this set place inside of the actual Empire State Building. I do believe, and it seems like this is kind of the consensus across the board with most content creators, most people that play the game, that this will be taking place most likely in the World Trade Center. Having the game mode at the Empire State Building, the biggest problem with that, maybe not a problem, but the hardest part, is that it would potentially make this a Dark Zone based game mode. And I don't think that's necessarily what they're after. Just kind of everything all together, I think World Trade Center is definitely where we're going to be. It's just outside the New York map, and it's actually viewable in-game from certain parts of New York. Very easily accessible. So overall, I think World Trade Center is going to be where it's at. Now, Title Update 11. So far, no dates have been given, but based on the end date of Season 2 and how they have previously done season gaps, I'd estimate it will drop in roughly 6 weeks. And I say that because of the timeline of the current season. The current season that we're in right now is going on for another 4 weeks. We have another 4 weeks left in Season 2. And then based off of how they did the time gaps with the PTS and Season 2 previously, I would give it probably about a 2-week gap. So I'm going to say 4 weeks to finish the season, plus another 2 between the season gap and when Title Update 11 drops, along with this new Skyscraper mode. So generally speaking, let's talk about kind of everything right now with this mode. I have to say, I am super excited about this mode. Most definitely. This is going to be very good. I'm really hoping that this does well and that this is a good mode. This seems like it will be huge. I mean, 100 floors. That's a lot of room to work with. That's a lot of playtime. It's a lot of enemies. Overall, I'm really hoping for something high here. While playtime is a huge perk, the one thing that needs to be there, that absolutely has to be there for this Skyscraper mode, is the ability to replay it over and over. This mode will require replayability. At this point in the game, unfortunately, anything other than a requirement without it having it, simple as that, is just not an option. Some things we're kind of wondering right now are enemy spawn types, numbers, mechanics, all of these kinds of things. Do these change each time you play? Will there be cool vendors, shops, things like this every 10 levels or every 10 floors to help with ascending higher and higher, right? So will each 10th floor give you something, have the ability for you to purchase something, to get something, whether it be as a solo player, as a group, or as a group, to help you really ascend and get higher each time. Will hunters be involved? This is something that Bond Diesel was actually talking about. And hunters, maybe. Absolutely. This mode has been in the works for a while, but will not be talked about at all until 2 to 3 weeks before launch. This, I think, is a very risky move by the Massive team, and it's a move that I don't necessarily agree with. With how much this new mode is riding on, it worries me that they are not being a little more open about it, that they're not giving us something more, showing us some more things. It is slightly worrisome. I know they appear confident about it. When they were talking on the last State of the Game last week about it, they were talking very confidently about it. But unfortunately, they also talked pretty confidently about Kenley College. And we saw how that turned out. I know myself have played it once and never again. I have a feeling this mode will not be in the public in the PTS, in the test server. So the mode itself is going to be 100% through the dev's eyes. And unfortunately, development 100% through the dev team does not have a good track record. Now, they have been saying online, they have been doing conversations with players and stuff on the forums, which I think is very good. And it will most definitely bring more life to this game mode. But by them waiting for the last 14 to maybe 21 days before this launches, if there's anything big about this that isn't going to work, if there's something about the game modes that isn't going to work, if there's a big thing that needs to be changed, it potentially will not be able to get done before they actually launch it. This mode cannot be just a shoot enemies, flip the light switch, rinse and repeat. There has to be something more to it. Now, hopefully, towards the end of August is what they told us last week, is when we will get more information on this game mode. Hopefully, they will actually be showing us something about the mechanics, something about what they're actually doing to make sure, like I mentioned before, the replayability is there. So overall, as you can probably tell, I am a bit worried, but I truly want this mode to succeed. I personally, myself, do things like raid regularly. I do a lot of the content that arguably is a very small percentage. Not a high percentage of the player base participate in. So I'm definitely for this game. I've been for this game for a long time now. It's something that I really enjoy. I raid regularly. I'm doing them a couple times a week. So I am definitely in a smaller percentage. So based on that, my viewpoints on this subject may be very different than a lot of other people's. So let me know what you think. What do you expect from this new game mode? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Would this mode potentially bring you back to the game if it turned out to be absolutely amazing? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time.
True Sun's munitions factory is out of action.